Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a book that so many retail investors need, How to Avoid Loss and Earn Consistently in the Stock Market by Prasenjit Paul. We're going to break down the core lessons step by step to figure out how you can actually protect your money and, make it grow in the long run. Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the big, uncomfortable question. Why do so many people lose money? Then we'll get into the most important part, a total mindset shift. After that, we're getting practical. I'm talking a real formula for finding good companies and a super quick check to avoid the bad ones. And we'll wrap it all up by creating a personal contract for smart investing.
All right, first up, let's just face the music. We have to understand the world we're stepping into. Why does it feel like the stock market is a game rigged against the little guy? Well, the numbers, they tell a pretty painful story.
Let this number sink in for a second. 80%. The book opens with this, and it's a gut punch. 4 out of every 5 regular investors, people like you and me, end up losing money overall. That's not just bad luck. That's a systemic problem. It tells you that what most people are doing is just flat out wrong. So the real question is, what are they doing? To really understand the why behind that 80%, the book tells the story of an investor named Rohit. And as I walk you through his journey, just ask yourself, have I ever made this mistake or this one? Because his story is the story of so many investors. So Rohit starts out full of hope. He's got some savings, he's ready to invest. He does what seems like a sensible thing and gives his money to a friend who happens to be a broker. He trusts him. But right away, the broker starts buying and selling constantly, chasing every hot tip that comes along.
And you can probably guess what happens next. The market takes a dive, which happens, but on top of that, all that frequent trading has racked up huge fees. It's a double whammy. Over half his money is just gone. See, the fundamental problem here is a conflict of interest. The broker gets paid per trade, whether Rohit wins or loses. The incentive is to trade more, not to make Rohit more money.
So after that disaster, Rohit thinks, okay, I'll do it myself. He fires his friend and becomes a day trader. He's glued to the business news, watching TV, looking for those intraday tips. And you know what? At first, it feels like it's working. He's winning way more than he's losing. 7 out of every 10 trades are making him a little bit of money. He's feeling smart.
But here is the absolutely brutal trap of day trading. Those 7 winning trades might make him a few hundred rupees each, but the 3 trades that go bad, they lose thousands. It's like picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. 1 or 2 bad moves can, and usually do, wipe out weeks of small gains, and then some. He ends up even worse off than before. It's a cycle of frustration.
So if that's the trap, how do you escape it? Well, according to the book, it's not about finding better tips. It's about a complete fundamental change in your entire approach. You have to stop thinking like a gambler in a casino and start thinking like an owner of a business.
I mean, just look at the difference here. The trader is all about the short term. They're watching the little squiggly line go up and down every second. They're chasing rumors. The owner couldn't care less about today's price. They care about the business itself. Is it well run? Is it profitable? Does it have a future? They read the company reports, not just the stock charts. It's a totally different game.
This quote from Ben Franklin just nails it, doesn't it? Think about it. Most of us will spend weeks, maybe even months, researching which car to buy or which phone has the best camera. We'll read reviews, watch videos, but then we'll throw our life savings into a stock based on a 2-minute tip from a stranger on TV. Your money deserves that same level of research and respect. The knowledge you gain is your best defense.
Okay, so you're ready to think like an owner. That's great. But how do you actually find these high-quality businesses worth owning in a sea of thousands of companies? This is where the book gets super helpful and gives us a practical, step-by-step formula.
The method is beautifully simple. Think of it like panning for gold. Step 1 is the screen. You use a filter with 5 key financial checks to wash away all the gravel and dirt, all the thousands of mediocre companies. Step 2 is the manual check. where you take that small handful of potential nuggets and inspect each one a little more closely.
Now, these 5 criteria are your filter. They look scary, but they're simple ideas. ROE and ROCE over 20% just means you want companies that are incredibly good at turning $1 of investment into more than $1 of profit. Debt to equity under 1 means the company owns more than it owes. It's not buried in debt. Promoters pledge below 10% is huge. It means the founders aren't mortgaging their own shares, so they're fully invested in the company's success. And finally, you just want to see that sales and profits are actually growing steadily. Put these 5 rules together and you can shrink a list of 5,000 stocks down to maybe 40 or 80 real contenders. It's incredibly powerful.
And here's why that formula works. In the short run, a stock price is chaos. It's driven by fear, greed, news, who knows what. But over the long run, a stock's price has to follow the success of the underlying business. A great, profitable, growing company will eventually become more valuable. This formula focuses you on the business, not the chaos.
This might be the most important lesson in the whole book. We waste so much mental energy trying to guess if the market's going to go up or down. Is it a good time to buy? Is a crash coming? The book argues that all of that is a distraction. Your job isn't to be a market timer, it's to be a business picker. If you find a fantastic company at a fair price, the right time takes care of itself.
So we've talked about finding the good guys. But just as important, maybe even more important, is learning how to quickly spot and run away from the bad guys. Defense wins championships, right?
So let's put this into practice. Your uncle calls you, he's all excited, you've got to buy this stock, it's going to double. Before you even think about logging into your brokerage account, you take a deep breath and you give yourself 2 minutes. That's all. 2 minutes to run this quick safety check. This is your emergency brake. These are 3 giant red flags. A low ROE means the business is just not very profitable. A high and rising debt ratio means it's getting deeper and deeper into a hole. And a high promoter pledge means the owners themselves might be in financial trouble. Here's the rule. If a stock has one of these red flags, you need to be extremely skeptical. If it has 2 or all 3, just say no. Don't even think about it. Walk away. This simple test can save you from thousands of potential landmines.
Okay, so we have the mindset. We have the tools for offense and defense. But the final piece of the puzzle is discipline. How do you make sure you actually stick to the plan when the market gets scary, or your friend gives you another hot tip? You make a contract with yourself.
This isn't just a list. This is your personal investment constitution. You are promising yourself, I'm an owner, not a gambler. I will focus on the business, not the market gossip. I have a system and I will trust it. I will not panic sell when the price drops or FOMO buy when it soars. And my goal isn't to get rich tomorrow, it's to build wealth steadily and consistently over time.
And really, this one sentence sums up the entire philosophy of so many great investors like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. The key to winning in the long run isn't about making a handful of brilliant, genius-level moves. It's about consistently, relentlessly avoiding the big, dumb, catastrophic mistakes that can wipe you out. Protecting your money is always job number 1.
And that brings us to the final, critical question that this whole guide is designed to make you ask yourself. The next time you're about to hit that buy button, just pause for a second and be honest. Are you acting like a thoughtful part owner of a real business, or are you just making a bet on a ticker symbol? Your answer to that question will define your success.